I like fan theories, and I think you do too. So in this video, I am going to validate or debunk 5 fan theories that I found after minimal research on the internet. I really have no place saying that these fan theories are or are not canon. I'm just giving my own thoughts on them. So here we go. Number 1, Loki is Noob Master 69 in Avengers Endgame. If you haven't seen the movie, 5 years after Thor kills Thanos, he's in a little bit of a dark place, and he's playing video games with some guy who is constantly trolling Thor and his friends, and Thor yells at him on the phone. Now, I think this is really funny, the idea that Loki is just screwing with Thor in his spare time, but I don't think that this is plausible. Thor and Loki were on pretty good terms by the time Loki died at the beginning of Infinity War, so if he was still alive, I don't think that he would spend 5 years playing video games with Thor, basically trying to rile him up. I think he probably would have come and tried to give Thor a pep talk at some point with how good they were with each other by the time he died. Although I do think this is kind of funny, I don't think that this is very plausible. And the next one, Benedict Cumberbatch was not playing connooni and seeing in Star Trek Into Darkness. Basically, the idea is there are a whole bunch of augments from the 20th century that are in suspended animation, and the wrong one got woken up, and he decided to take on the name Khan for reasons. I'm going to be honest, this one doesn't seem very plausible to me, as I'm not really sure why someone who is not Khan would tell people that he is Khan. Whenever he tells Spock and Kirk his name is Khan, they don't really have a reaction because they don't know who that is. In Star Trek, the original series, I think they actually had to do a little research to figure out that this guy that they were talking to was Khan Noonien and seeing the tyrant from the 20th century. So I'm not really sure what this guy would have to gain if he isn't Khan and he's telling people that he is. One idea I saw was that maybe he's doing this just to keep himself out of suspended animation, but he's already a prisoner of the Enterprise at this point, so I don't see that this would have helped him very much. So while I like the idea that the real Khan is still out there, at this point I'm going to say I don't think that this theory is very valid. And the next one, Jason Voorhees is half demon. We never do see his father in any of the movies, so it's possible that Pamela Voorhees was impregnated by a demon, and Jason is half demon. I have not seen every Friday the 13th movie, but I'm going to say I think this is pretty plausible. Jason goes through a lot of punishment over the course of the Friday the 13th movies, and if he is half demon, that would explain how he's able to survive some of the stuff that he does survive. Now, I have not seen all the movies, as I said. I know there's one of them where there's some kind of demon worm that jumps from body to body. I haven't seen that movie, so I don't know how that fits with this theory, but I'm going to say I like this theory, even though I have not done the proper research to confirm or deny it. And next, there was a minor character in a few issues in the flashback stories in the X-Men comics in the 1960s named Jack Winters, aka Jack O'Diamond. He has telepathy and diamond skin. The theory is that he is related to Emma Frost. I talked about this a little bit whenever I was examining the Silver Age issues of the X-Men, and I don't buy this theory. For one, Emma Frost's diamond powers are not natural. They were engineered by Cassandra Nova so that Emma Frost could survive the destruction of Genosha. Also, Jack Winters is a very blue-collar kind of guy. The Frost family are all very snobby. I cannot imagine Emma's mother interacting with this blue-collar guy who works in a factory somewhere in any scenario at all. So I really don't think that this guy is related to Emma Frost in any way. I think the only reason people think this is because they have similar abilities, but really the only natural abilities that they share are telepathy, and there are about 5,000 telepaths in the Marvel Universe, so I don't think this theory really has legs. And the last one, the demon that the titular children in Children of the Corn worship is Randall Flagg from Stephen King's The Stand. Both of these stories are Stephen King stories, and not only do I think this is possible, I think this is very likely. Stephen King likes to connect a lot of his stories. Randall Flagg himself showed up in The Stand, Eyes of the Dragon, and the Dark Tower books, and using an alias, he appeared in some other stories. Randall Flagg shows up in a cornfield in The Stand, and there is some kind of unseen demon in the Children of the Corn movie. I have not seen any of the sequels to Children of the Corn. I don't know if the demon shows up in those, but the idea that Randall Flagg is trying to manipulate some kids into becoming his servants, that seems pretty likely to me. I don't know how this would serve his overall goals over the course course of the entire Stephen King multiverse, but the idea that there is some kind of demonic creature in the cornfield in Children of the Corn, and Randall Flagg shows up looking pretty demonic in The Stand, also in a cornfield, that is enough to connect these two for me. Also, because Stephen King likes to connect all of his works with various connections, I think this one is pretty likely. And that's about it. What do you guys think? Are there any other fan theories that I should talk about? If so, leave them in the comments below, and in the meantime, I will see you guys in the future. Have a good one.